I keep having these conversations with everyone about the Christ consciousness, and not even in a way of talking about Christ consciousness, but more in a way of talking about how you are your protector. So let me explain this to you guys, because people think that religion keeps them from the devil. Where the hell where has the devil not been able to get to you? No, the devil's there. Religion keeps you from yourself. And if you are not whole, you can't protect yourself because you're relying on outside sources. Now there's nothing wrong with that. So let me start again. This is not an attack on religion or religious people. And I love me some JC. But I don't think people understand that the religion that uses Jesus as a mascot was created and carried out by the people who killed him. They betrayed him, they killed him or had him killed. And then they started using him as the martyr and the mascot for a message that he didn't sign on with. Does that remind you of Charlie Kirk? See, it could happen. It's been happening since the beginning of time. Julius Caesar, Jesus Christ. A couple years ago, I was dating this guy. We had it going on, but he was so afraid of himself. He kept buying houses, and all these different spirits and demons would show up in the house. So he would get rid of the house. And I kept trying to explain to him, it's not the house, it's you. They are attached to you, and they're attached to you through your fear. This is the whole thing with Billy Carson. I know this because I've experienced it since I was a kid. And the only thing that will transmute the energy is your fear. Okay. And then you'll be like, but then that's a whole different journey. So something's in my throat, you guys. It's been in my throat for like 3 weeks. It's a long story. Jesus Christ said that the kingdom of heaven, or the Christ consciousness, is within you. I believe it was the book of Timothy. What that means is you have God consciousness, and you have Christ consciousness, which is your God, your Savior, inside of you. You do not need anything outside of you because you have everything. You are whole. You are holy. This is the whole Father, Son, Holy Ghost, Father, Son, Holy Ghost. All of this is within you. Here in a Western culture, I won't even say Western culture. In the world, when you have religions have always acted as a liaison, so to speak, a third party, if you will, between you and God. That was the whole thing with Jesus Christ. We're coming up on Easter. Easter has nothing to do with Jesus, but Christianity made it seem like it did, so let's talk about it. I said this in a previous video. I think it was I forgot what video I said this in. Mary and Joseph were high society members. They were not poor, meager, whatever. They were in a secret occult group that was ran by the Pharaoh at that time. I don't know if he was a Pharaoh or just a king. He only ruled for like 17 years. I don't remember his name, but they, just like with Jesus Christ, Charlie Kirk, whatever, they betrayed him, they killed him, and then they changed what he was saying. But the only reason that they did that, give me a second. The only reason that they did that was because he was telling his kingdom that you do not need the priesthood, that you don't need anybody. There's no liaison between you and God. Everything is within you. You have a direct line to the Creator. And I don't understand why people don't understand that, because I was 3 years old when I learned about God. I was 4 when I learned about Jesus Christ. I was cool to learn about God, but when they told me that I couldn't get to heaven if I didn't go through Jesus, that sounded like some bullshit. And it should sound like bullshit to you too. Not that we don't love Jesus, but Jesus said the same thing. To finish the story of Jesus, so his parents, like I said, were high society members. They worked with I don't know if he was a pharaoh or a king. I don't even remember his name. You guys can do your own research. But he had a group of 17 believers. He was about to be, this was on the precipice of him being overthrown because the priesthood, I hear my son, because the priesthood realized that he was telling the people that they didn't need the priests. So now they were working together to get rid of him. So he had about a group of 17 believers with him, and they worked and did rituals to bring in a being from an ascended master. Jesus is one of millions, trillions, gazillions ascended masters. So to bring in a being from a higher dimension, you could only do it during certain times with certain alignments. So they worked with this group and they did rituals. I know rituals sound so woo-woo to you guys, but singing the happy birthday song is a ritual. Going to church every Sunday is a ritual. Your morning routine is a ritual. Ritual is nothing more than routine that you do that you make sacred and that you do in hopes to gain something else from. So you set intentions. So please don't make this woo-woo and don't get freaked out when I say ritual. But they did these different rituals. So it worked. When Mary and Joseph had the baby, they wanted to get outside of the city, if you will. They wanted to get outside of the city and they wanted to be around nature spirits. Their nature spirits are way more powerful than humans because they have not conformed to the Luciferian effect like the world that we live in has. So when they say that they found, they had him in a manger, it wasn't because they were poor and didn't have anywhere to go. What they were trying to do was be in alignment with, I don't know if it was the Sirius star system or specifically the Orion's belt, but anytime major things are going on, you want to get into alignment with whatever star system that you want to work with, depending on what you're trying to do. Different star systems hold different entities, different beings, different intentions, depending on their location with the rest of our universe. So they were trying to be in alignment with one of the star systems. So they had the baby on a grid in alignment with the core of the earth and a specific star system. That's why they were in the middle, what we would see as the middle of nowhere. It wasn't the middle of nowhere. They knew what they were doing. This was very intentional. And that's why 3 kings came, because they knew where they were and they were high society members. This wasn't some, miracle of God. We don't know where these kings come from. God sent them. Yeah, God sent them. But they already knew. Okay. That's the story of Jesus. He spent his childhood remembering who he was outside of that life, and also understanding, integrating who he was outside and who he is now. And that's how you get the Jesus Christ you guys know in the Bible. Everything that I'm talking about is esoteric knowledge. All you have to do is start reading about esoteric rather than exoteric, which is what religions teach. So hear me out. Our Western culture teaches you to not trust yourself, but to trust everything outside of you. God. If something bad happens, like I've said before, blame the devil. You send your kids to school. You don't grow your food. You don't even learn about your food. You go to a grocery store. The food comes from the ground, but we go to a store that's only open during certain hours to go get our food that really comes from the ground. There's a liaison between you and your food, when all you have to do is go outside, and then you wonder why 90% of the food that we eat is goyim slop. We allowed other people to take control of our power, and then we get mad. So this was where now I'm getting back to the conversation, because I keep getting in trouble over this Billy Carson thing. People think that I'm being harsh when I say you're a punk ass bitch and your family did not leave you because they betrayed you. They left you because you failed to protect them in a world that you put them in. And I didn't call him a punk ass bitch. I'm just saying it now. I just said you failed to be a protector, especially when they felt protected and you flipped the fuck out because aliens came through the wall. I believe him when he says that. I just don't like the fact that he's putting his family and also black women down because his wife left him because you feel like they betrayed you. No, you're the protector. You brought them into this world of spirituality and aliens. And then when the aliens showed up, they didn't even see the aliens. Only you did. They didn't have the experience. Only you did. The aliens were only coming to talk to you because you were a leader. So they were coming to work with you and you flipped the fuck out. Now, I've had this experience, not with aliens, with other entities. But you can't put yourself in a circle and then when they come to talk to you, now all of a sudden you a punk. Go back to work. Just get a regular job. Don't be a leader if you can't be a leader. Okay, I digress. So back to the guy that I was dating. He was so afraid of himself. And this does go back to you. And I will talk about that because I've had this experience. He was so afraid of himself that the apartment that he finally got after buying and selling 2 houses, I believe it was, he had a bell at the door. Bells do break up spiritual bad energy. So does clapping, by the way. But bells, that's why they used to put bells on churches, because it does break up bad energy, demons, whatever you call them. Even though demons are not bad, but they're the old gods. Demons are the titans, but that's a whole nother conversation. And in the doorways of every room he sprinkled black salt. I would just step on salt all damn day. And then he had a cat that he didn't even really like, but cats are protectors. And then he would play different solfeggio, I think like 432 hertz, all day throughout his apartment with Alexa. He worked from home for the Department of Defense, by the way, which is a whole nother story. Because he would see black orbs in his house. He would see demons. That's a reflection of you. And a lot of times those are our ancestors or beings that know you from other timelines. And I know that personally. But if you act scared, fear is indicative of you seeing yourself as a victim. So if you act scared or a victim, you're going to perceive things in a weird way. So when they're interacting with you, like with Billy Carson, the aliens coming through the walls, all they were doing was talking to him. This man was about to lose his fucking shit. You're going to perceive that as, oh my God, I'm being attacked. How many people have actually ever been attacked physically by an entity that is not physical? I'll wait. It would behoove all of us, especially since we live in a world that they think aliens are coming any second. They're already here, but that's neither here nor there. Your first job is to get right with self. I'm going to tell you how you do that because I did it. First, you have to stop thinking that you're a victim. Nothing that I say will dishonor God, by the way. I should have said that first. God is not mad with what I'm saying. None of this dishonors him because we have an unconditional, all-loving God. If you ever heard God say that he was jealous, you weren't talking to the highest God. Or God's words were being infiltrated by government. And there's a lot of that going on. The truest form of love, the highest form of love, and jealousy aren't even on the same frequency. And an all-powerful, all-loving, all-knowing God, unconditional, is not afraid of you. He does not need your energy. He does not need you to love him. You don't need anything from your kids, do you? No, you don't. God doesn't need anything from you. And he gave you his consciousness, free will. It is all one consciousness. He didn't give you his consciousness. You were his consciousness because you came from him, because you're part of him, because you're God too. I don't know what's going on with my throat. It's been pretty good. I'm detoxing, so all the phlegm is coming up. So please pardon. That's what I've been hearing for a few weeks. My mom says allergies. I ain't had an allergy a day in my life, and I'm not conforming to that belief. This is how you get tough spiritually, especially if you think the devil or aliens are coming. Stop thinking that you need God for everything. And I shouldn't have said it that way because a lot of you are like, oh, say it a different way. Understand that God is already within you and that you have God consciousness, which means nothing can harm me. It is your faith that makes you whole. So whatever you believe will be. Okay, let me hold that for the end. I used to chant, I am not a victim. So you're not a victim. One, if you have faith in God, you shouldn't be afraid anyway. Even if it's Christian, faith is faith and it will make you whole. Whatever you have faith in will help you. But it's faith. It's not the thing. It's your faith in it that is giving it power. It could be a rabbit's foot. It could be a lucky penny. It could be a god. It could be any type of entity. It's not the entity. This is what Jesus was saying when he said it's your faith that makes you whole. It's your faith that is the power. Okay. That means you have to start having faith in yourself. This is self-concept. I talk about this all the time. I feel like chocolate cake is about nothing but self-concept. So you have to start having faith in yourself, and it could be with anything. This is where you build your confidence with yourself. But I would definitely talk to yourself in the mirror, write a list of things that you've always wanted to do, and start doing them a little at a time. The more you do things that you thought you couldn't do, the more confidence you're going to get. Hence why I keep doing these videos. The more confidence and trust that you're going to build with yourself. And that's another thing. We live in a world where we have taught ourselves not to trust ourselves. There's a block between you and what you want. And it's the trust that you have for yourself, which becomes the trust that you have in the world. You have a lot of people, specifically in the spiritual community, that do not feel safe. They say, I don't belong here. I'm not welcome here, or I'm not safe. Like feeling like there's this girl telling everybody they need to leave the United States. This is home. I'm not saying I'm not leaving, but this is home. We don't have to leave. Stop running. This is our home. Stop running. You have to have faith in yourself. Faith in yourself will allow you, faith and trust in yourself will put you on a frequency of situational circumstances that allow you to feel safe and trusting of yourself. And then this goes into everything. This is when you will start to trust your relationships. You'll have trust for money. You'll trust your body with your health. You'll start to trust your food. And this doesn't mean that you're not doing what you need to do to make sure you have a trusting relationship with your lover, a trusting relationship with your family, trusting relationship with money, food, and your body, the cells in your body. The doctor tells you you're sick and you're like, oh, I'm sick. I'm not saying don't respect the doctors. My aunt will have a conversation with me right now over this. My aunt is a doctor. And we've had many conversations since the pandemic about this stuff. I respect it, and you should respect what your doctor says. But that's when you take what he says, and this is what I did with Kane in the NICU. You take what he says, and then you say, you have this conversation with your body. Body, I hear this, but I know that you are healthy. I know that you are strong. I know that you are perfect. And you have everything that you need to heal, to be healthy. You don't accept it. You accept, like I said, you can respect it. Two things can be true. I hear you, doctor. And I'm not telling you don't follow any advice. But what I am telling you is anytime there is a disconnect between you and your body, you have to build that bridge between you and your body again. That is a relationship between you and your body. The same relationship that you want to have with your romantic partner, this trust, this bond, this unbreakable bond that you want to have, that is the same unbreakable bond you're supposed to be having with yourself, with food, with money, with God, with everything around you. But it starts with yourself. And when you have it with yourself, everything will fall in line. The point of all of this is, my intention is not to direct you from whatever God you believe in, whether it be Jehovah or any other God. My intention is for you to understand that there is no such thing as God saying no to you or not yet. We serve a yes God. I don't serve anybody, but we live in a world of yes, but everything is contingent on you. So you want to take care of yourself mentally and emotionally and spiritually so that when you need protection, the protection is there from God or your ancestors or your spirits. Because what's happening is, this is with the Western culture, how they poison everything and dumb you down. What they're doing is, this is called the Luciferian effect. They're keeping you away from yourself. Because it doesn't matter how much you love God. If you are not connected to yourself, your line of connection is, it's like the TV. Oh gosh, here we go. I don't know if you guys remember the old school TVs, and you had the antenna. And if you had to have it certain ways, and that's what yoga is too, by the way, you had to have it certain ways that would be in alignment with the satellites. The more trash you put into your body, in your mind, and in your spirit, the more diluted your connection to God is going to be. Sorry, it's just the truth. So this is what self-care is. Taking care of your self-concept, taking care of yourself. And I think is neuro that talks about the mind cannot be compartmentalized. I say, thank you, Melissa. How you do one thing is how you do everything, is that saying, right? Because taking care of your body, your mind, and your soul, this will trickle into every area of your life. It will. When someone is broke, like they don't have any money, they're not just broke with money. They have a lack mentality that stretches. If not yet, it will. They may just not be aware of it. It stretches into every area of their life. It's a broke spirit. You don't trust. You don't feel safe. It's a lack. Not enough money, not enough safety, not enough energy, not enough time. This is what lack is. That's what being broke is. It's just lack mentality, and it came around to money, but it messes with every area of your life. So does faith. When you have faith in yourself, that goes to faith in your body, faith with God and the universe, faith with your lovers, faith with your friends, faith with your safety. Faith, it's trust. Trust is confidence. We've talked about this before. So it's not that you are not loving God or not thinking that God is protecting you. If you want God to protect you, God will protect you. But to the ability that you have faith and confidence, which also starts with yourself, that's the ability that God can be that yes man to you, because he's not saying no to you. You're saying no to yourself, and it's just a projection. Quit projecting on God. So talk about this 10,000 times. You can do it through talking to yourself in the mirror. It's a really good way, actually. Not because the mirror is a portal, even though I'm not saying that it's not, but because you are literally looking at yourself as I'm doing now, and you are talking to yourself. The big G and the little g are having a conversation. I don't believe in that big G, little g stuff, but most people do. You are having a conversation with you, your ego, and your conscious. You can do it with affirmations. You can do it through journaling. It's going to be a little at a time because we have been indoctrinated to not trust ourselves. You're called selfish. You're called, I don't know. I just feel like since birth, we are taught to trust everything outside of ourselves, to the point that humans think that they are so weak and that they are so far from heaven and so far from God. And that is not true at all. It's all. So, did I make my points? Because I feel like I've been talking about this all morning. So I just hit record. I don't post myself on Facebook anymore. Not because anything's wrong. I just got tired of all the damn platforms. But I think I'm going to start doing it again. I do have a whole page for chocolate cake, and everyone looks at what is this page for? I'll start doing it. I talk about this all the time, and I'm going to say it here. You have the resources within you. I have the resources. You have to meditate. You have to do something. You have to spend time with yourself. That's what I should have said. Another way that's going to really help you is spending time with yourself. You would do this through some type of daily meditation or daily devotion. But if your daily devotion goes towards praising something outside of you, that kind of, I don't want to say that defeats the point, because there is, like I said, if it's your faith, it will make you whole. So I don't want to disrespect that. Ooh, I've lost so many Christian friends, y'all. No, I haven't. But it is important for you to start giving yourself the praise too. You can give God the praise and you the praise. You're God's greatest creation. Why wouldn't you want to love yourself? Why wouldn't? God is obsessed with you. Just so you know, you are his greatest creation. He's obsessed with you. You're obsessed with God. Well, God is obsessed with you. What you want wants you more. So stop feeling afraid of yourself. Stop feeling afraid of the world outside of what you have grown up to be, because the world is changing. It's the age of Aquarius. Everything that we thought isn't anymore. So it's really time for you to start thinking outside of the box, because when this shit goes down, and it's been going down, you're going to freak the fuck out. And a lot of y'all are going to, you don't want to die of fear. So just calm down and give yourself the love and the glory, so that when things happen, they happen in a way that serves you. It is morning time. I literally just got out of bed and started having these conversations because I've been having them yesterday, last night, and now even this morning. I'm waking up to messages from, I've been talking about what chosen it means with people, and then the food thing, which is a whole nother situation. I'm going to go ahead and get ready for my day and wake up this kiddo. I think I'm going to go ahead and we're going to have the Jesus Christ series, but that's what I was going to say. 31 Ways to Flow. I have put it back in the Stand store for now, but I'm going to take it out of the Stand store, but it's a free download. Y'all need to start reading. Like I said, I do want to make it an audio, but I don't care. 31 Ways to Flow is a book about self-devotion, ways that you can get into alignment with yourself if you don't like to meditate. So that's like working out is one way, by the way. People do that all the time. But when you work out, yes, work out to whatever music you want, whatever. But also when you're feeling that burn, when you're feeling that power, that's when you siphon the energy back to yourself. Same with sex. When you're having that orgasm, you're supposed to siphon the energy back to yourself. You don't just let it out. You set intention and you circle it back through into yourself. That's what will make it sacred and powerful for you. Let me get off of here. I'm Sheila Jade. This is Chocolate Cake 101. Have a good day. Peace.